After people wake up from sleep or other distractions, they must often check the campus for directions. Don't wait until we lose our way in this world to start discovering ourselves, our situations, and the infinite scope of our relationships. The pink dream gradually retreated from Raiden May's foggy mind. But the back door and the beacon left by Cygnus. The imaginary campus left by Vilvi was being clutched by the unconscious successor. You turn out to be a fighter. Good thing I don't have to save her hide again. Alicia, Velvi. Did I have a long dream?
我似乎做了一个很长的梦。
Dream, you vanished for half an hour.
你整个人都凭空消失了半个小时。
Are Kiana and Bronya alright?
Kiana 和 Bronya 没事吧
Guess so.
没什么大事。
Only they also hallucinated while investigating this area. Luckily, Durandal acted super fast.
没有让他们重蹈你的覆辙。
Can't stand still. Let me give you a checkup.
让我把你好好检查一遍。
Without hacking into May's memory, Herrscher of Sentience examined every corner of her consciousness. Good. I don't see any after effects.
很好，没有留下什么后遗症。
You go look for Kiana and Bronya yourself.
我还有别的事情要忙。
Wait, Herrscher of Sentience.
是之旅者。
What do you need?
你还有啥事儿？
I'm really,
时间
really
说好
busy.
我现在真的很忙。
You said I
你刚才说
vanished.
我凭空消失
What
了一段时
happened?
间，那究竟是怎么回
You
事？
know what I am, right?
你知道我是怎么回事吧？
After seconds of confusion, Herrscher of Thunder came to the realization. Are you saying you
是
exist
说你目
independently
前
of
独立于班长
Fuhua?
而存在的方式吗？
Yep.
嗯哼，
Generally speaking,
从我来
I'm
讲
just a
我
feather.
现在不过是一个羽毛。
Have you
但你们有
wondered
没有好
what
奇
such
过
feather
所
is?
谓的羽毛又究竟是什么？
Isn't it part of
不是
Feng
宇杜城的一
Huangdao?
部分吗？
How was it
那宇
created?
杜城又是怎么做出
A
来的？
Herrscher core from the
世上的纪
previous
元的六者
era.
核心。
Huh. Could that actually be similar to Herrscher of
宇杜城的羽
Reason?
毛其实就
You're
是
closing in.
沾边
You
了。
can normally take a
一般来说，
feather
把
as
羽
a
毛当做一种
recorder
记
or
录
a
装置，
special
或者一
communicator.
种特殊的通信器，其实都
But
可以。
fundamentally, it's
但从
inside
本
of
质
the
上讲，
Herrscher core
它是律者
and a
核心的
port
内层，
between the
是
imaginary
叙
and
述
the
空
real.
间与现实的一种接口。
You know, Sila
你知道希尔
once
曾经消失在
vanished
量子
into
之
the
海的经历吧？
quanta.
无论是我的现状，还是你刚才的遭
The
遇，它
similar
们都与此类似。而唯
only
一的区别在
difference
于，
is that
否
our
定我们实
entity
体的
is
是虚数
denied
空
by the
间，而非
imaginary
量子之
space.
海。只是我
Thing
的核
is,
心
my
天
core
然就
is
擅长内
actually
外翻船，
flipping
但你
inside
们
out,
显然对此并不适应。
hallucinating, dreaming,
幻觉呀、
vanishing,
做梦啊，
where
凭空
space
消
is
失呀。
chaotic. All tricks
在空间混乱
played
的
by
地方，
Project
圣痕计
Stigma
划玩的
is
所有把
related
戏
to this
都与
flip.
这种内外翻转有关。
Did Hair do
还
this?
是与兔做的手脚
I
吗
don't think so.
那可未必。
But guess what?
好
I'm
了
not a
好了，
teacher.
我也不是什么教书先生。
You
你们
know
认识
so
的科
many
学家多的是，
scientists. Save
更
the
复杂
harder
的问题，
questions for
还是留
them.
着去问他们吧。
I've been here long
跟着你
enough.
们忙活了这么久，我也是时候好好休息一会儿了。
Herrscher of Sentience waved as usual and vanished. For some reason, May remembered a book she read in Saint Freya. Long ago, I lost a hound, a clarion horse, and a turtle dove. I'm still looking for them. To many travelers, I've expressed how much I miss them and described their characteristics and the calls to which they responded. I once met several people who heard the hound bark, the horse run, and even saw the turtle dove fly into the clouds. And they were eager to find them, as if they had lost them themselves. I should find Kiana and Branya first. May. I'm sorry to have worried you guys. It's all thanks to the Hersh of Sentience and Durandal this time. Branya's glad to see you're okay. Yeah, Project Stigma is dirty tricks. We can't let our guard down even a second. Yes, but danger often offers opportunity. For example, in that incident before, I found out that the previous era may have lacked a backdoor for us. May told the two what she experienced in the dream. Oh, I think Dr. Tesla will be interested. She said there's much room for improvement of anti-entropy's plan before we come face to face with her finality. I think the item May found might just be that improvement. But it might also serve the same purpose as Durandal's keepsake. May, I know this is hard to believe. Durandal is actually the original Kiana where my genes originated. An accident erased her memory, and a series of coincidences set her on another path. We just learned the truth today thanks to a keepsake from the Castellana Stigma's days. When we say pop together, that explains. May, you're not surprised? I'm not. As absurd as it sounds, it makes sense. Branya, you should feel the same. Branya was slightly more surprised, but speaking of the person who'd be taken aback, it only left principal speeches for a while, or so Branya heard. That's how things are. After that keepsake shared our memory with each other, it vanished without a trace. Was that what Branya was talking about? We can't rule out that possibility. But because it's the work of that VOV from the Flame Chasers, I have more faith in it. I see. You happen to be here. May, how are you feeling? Principal, sorry about making you worry. Don't say that. May, your safety is what matters. Hersh of Sentience has briefed me on the situation. You're planning to have anti-entropy scientists study the beacon May found, yes? Great, I was going to take Kiana and Branya to the Salt Lake base. Of course, Hersh of Sentience would escort us in case of danger. That temporarily leaves the defense of Ch34 to Branya. After Siegfried arrived at the deep, Fu Hua will hurry over to support you and Sila. The deep is stable. We can regard it as our home front. Sounds like Anti-Entropy has thought out a battle
似乎
plan.
准备了相当成熟的作战方案了。
Indeed,
确实，
but your
不过
beacon must
你
be
的
a
信刀
pleasant
对他们
surprise
来
to
说肯定
them.
是一种惊喜啦。
So when are you
所以
setting
我
out?
们什么时候出
Herrscher of
发？
Sentience has
石
walked
之
off
日
to
上似乎
rest.
是自己休息了。
Oh?
他不
Didn't
是
she
答应
promise
我
me? Come on, I don't
拜
work
托
for you.
我
Why
又不是
would
你
I
的打工
let
仔
you boss me
哪有顾
around?
得及来挥之即去的道理？
If I
要不
weren't
是我
so
宅心仁厚，
kind-hearted, I'd
怕
sit
你们
back
在
and
被
watch
宇宙之类的家务
her
现
and
场，
the like
就哪里
make
想
a
管你
fool
们？
of you.
石之
You've
日
been
上
here all
原来
along?
你一直都在这里啊！还不是有人没把
If
话听
someone
清
had
楚。
paid attention,
我答应德
I
丽莎的
promised
是
Teresa
找
to
到雷
find
电
Raiden
原因，
May
保
and
护
keep
吉安娜
Kiana
安全。
safe.
又几时答应和你们一起
When
行
did
动
I
了？
agree to act with you?
唉，
Teresa, you're the freaking
你好歹
Shixal
都是天命主教
overseer.
啊！
Every S-rank
天命的 S
Valkyrie
级
at
武神都
Shixal
为
is
你
at
管，
your
这能还
disposal.
报吗？
Herrscher of
失之律者，
Sentience, your
你的权
authority is
能
one
独
of
一
a
无二。
kind. Thank you for stating the
不用你来
obvious.
恭维，
You're
你也
not
别想
getting
从我身上
anything
得到
else
别的
out
好
of
处。
me. I know you're
当然
free-spirited
了，
Herrscher.
毕竟你是自由的律者嘛。不过，我其实是说，
Even if your words apart, I believe you keep your
即便远
word
在
and
天
come
边，
out to
我也
save
相
us.
信你会在必要的时候遵守诺言，
You,
保护我们。
whatever, I know you're kind. You're begging me because
算了算
you
了，我是看
can't
清楚你
do
们这些人
without
了，
me.
变着法儿来求我，没有我就不行
Ah,
了。
please don't fight.
那个，大家不要吵架呀。
Sila, this isn't your business, alright? I'm gonna give them a
夏妹妹，你就别凑什么
psychotherapy
热闹了吧。
session to help
他们
them
这些人
suck
自己
less.
不争气，我只要给他们来点
But we
心理
need
辅
to
导呢。
unite as one now more than ever.
现在是最需
We
要我
need
们
the
所有
power
人团
of
结一
each
致
and
的时候。
everyone.
无论没有谁的力
Like
量，
Susanna,
对不起
an
呀。
ordinary
就
Valkyrie
像我
we
们之前
met
遇到的苏
earlier.
珊娜，她只是一名普普
But
通通
without
的
her,
武神。
we'd have
如果没有
gotten
她的帮
half
助，
the
我
result
们在
with
还
twice
没
the
成的时候，
effort in the
就可
deep.
能做出
Don't
很
you
多事
agree?
倍功半的事，不是吗？
Sila, you. Never mind. Herrscher of Sentience shrugged in display of her forgiveness. For Sila's sake. Now
看在
you
现
all
在的面
owe
子
me
上，
one,
你们
understand?
所有人都欠我一个人情，懂吗？
You're willing to make up with everyone.
所以你愿意和大家和好了，对吧？
Quit staring at me with puppy eyes
总之，
and saying
别
those
用那种
corny
无力眼神看
lines.
着我，
I
还不
said
停地说奇
please,
怪的话。
okay?
算我求你了，可以吗？
Okay, I'm sorry.
好的，对不起。
So, can we set out now?
所以
Everything
我们这
looks
是可以
good
出
to
发了吗？
me.
看起来
Just
是
to
没
be
什么问题
clear,
了。
I won't help, at least
时间
unless
正
you
好
really need
如
it.
果没有绝对的必要，我是不会帮你们出手的啊。
A few hours later, Salt Lake Base. Mophat, has your analyzation put out anything?
鸡窝头，你那边的分析结果出来了几项？德丽
I
莎带来的
finished
模式样
analyzing
品
the rock
都已经分
samples
析好了。
Teresa brought back.
简单
To
来
put it
说，
simply, the
所谓
physical
生产的历史
indicators
标
of
接
the
近完美
unholy
的
relic are similar to those of
它曾
Herrscher
是某种
cores.
特殊行
It's
动
used
叙
as a
述起点的构成单
structural
位。
unit.
不过，
But as
由于它只是没有
an
活性的碎
inactive
片，
shard, the
或许
information
我
we
们
can
可以
acquire
从中
from
获得
it
的
is
信
very
息
limited.
也许会比较有限。
That's not a concern for now. Can you infer what state Kevin's in and what the pattern of Herrscher
或
Finale's
者
birth
三之
is?
历史的诞生规则究竟是什么吗？
I can't say about the former, but about the latter, I can correct a misconception. Herrscher finality doesn't come out of nowhere. More likely, it's always been there.
它一直存在。
What? Didn't you just say that unholy relic is an
那个什么
inactive
圣
shard?
牌已经是没有活性的碎片了吗？
Yes, but according to what Kevin said to Fu Hua, the authority of
根据凯文
finality
对
is
福华的说
time.
辞，中烟的全能就是时间。
Because an imaginary singularity at the core of a Herrscher is already a fixed point in the imaginary space. If we can take account of time, then the only plausible conclusion is Herrscher finality can withstand space-time shifts in some
有
way.
某种形式不受任何时空变换的影响。
Doesn't that create a
这不
bigger
就制造出了一个
contradiction?
更大的矛盾吗？
If finality is unaffected by time, how will Project Stigma affect it and seize the powers through time?
去夺取它的力量。
It's contradictory from this angle, but
但如果
what if Project Stigma and finality are interdependent?
本就是与中烟互为表里的一种存在呢？
Huh?
啊？
After hearing Kevin's attitude from Fu Hua, I'm baffled by one thing.
我感到非常困惑。
Why does Kevin believe Project Stigma is guaranteed to purge Honkai after being carried out? Isn't it because he can join Honkai if she couldn't beat it? Then didn't Kevin call Honkai an embrace? You realized. We don't know what the cocoon is, but I'm guessing it's a template. Project Stigma will merge reality and the imaginary space, presumably to synchronize the human defined by them with finality forcefully. If I'm entirely correct, the authority of finality that Kevin shoulders will be spread evenly over all humans one day. All surviving new humans will be cursed with finality, though will most likely be harmless by that time.
虽然如果真到了这一步，它多半反而是无害的。
With this knowledge, if new humans correspond to Ch34's puppet, then Project Stigma corresponds to the construction of the theater of domination? No, Project Stigma can't directly control the Stigma awakened, nor does World Serpent believe they'll lose their freedom in the end. So are you saying old humans are equivalent to cornerstones like the puppet, while new humans are equivalent to Alto? Yes, but it's just an analogy, so it may not be appropriate. Now that we've gotten so far, the beacon you've been studying, its importance is clear to see. All right. We've been talking about your discoveries, now let's talk about mine. Based on your conclusion, we can take this beacon that May found as some kind of transmitter, but it's trying to message a non-existent recipient. Current measurements suggest the beacon runs on May's core and is emitting a signal, which only contains a simple repetitive message to the imaginary space. Although we can't understand this simple repetitive message, given the design of transmitters, this mostly means it hasn't found a recipient. Think of a phone that says no service, a desperate search for a base station. Will it be the Herrscher of origin? I don't know. This is difficult to validate by technical means, as none of us has seen the authority of origin before. But I'm more worried about why May could find this beacon. You mean the Herrscher of Sentience warned us that May might be targeted by Project Stigma? It's this statement and Kevin's behavior that made me realize something tricky. Be it Project Stigma creating the beacon or the beacon hiding amid Project Stigma, both indicate May is a unique entity to Project Stigma. I don't know what this will lead to, but anyhow, it's worth a shot. You think what May wants to do, like Schicksal's island operation, won't conflict with the second-gen Project Zelini? Of course it won't, but also for Kiana's benefit, and in this way, our battle plan is taking shape. Once Nagamitsu finishes the feasibility studies, we can call everyone and hold a joint warfare conference. We're really going out of our way this time. We surely can lose to Project Stigma in the scope of operations. Remember the spirit of Lab 42? Whoever has faith in the Lord of all things can thus eat all things. We carved this motto on the lab wall. Hey, isn't that your fancy excuse for eating junk food? Really? Don't play dumb. This quote is carved into the lab kitchen wall. Time flew. Nowadays, perhaps Einstein only teased like her teenage self when she was around Tesla. But the 42 that she mentioned inadvertently became an apt footnote for the following operations. That would be the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything. Copy that. Jigsaw HQ is in stable condition and it can attend the conference anytime. Got it. Take care, Teresa. Does Teresa Sama plan to host this welfare conference at Act2-pt4of6 HQ? Yes. Signals from all parties will be encrypted and transmitted through Cosmic Juggernaut. We'll organize the finding of Nagamitsu, Tesla, and Einstein, then develop a battle plan to attack Project Sigma and eventually confront Kevin. We must not only tear apart the artificial shackles, but also go beyond the ordained finality. In other words, this battle will decide the fate of humanity. Yes. Unlike Einstein and Co., we've gone through it once in the bubble universe. Although it can be called a success, our perception of the enemy was systematically flawed. For that reason, this plan needs to comprise operations of different natures. Reclaiming the Earth, exploring the origin, and transcending the finality, we need to devise parallel plans to shackle these three strategic goals. For example, until we're certain we can harness the finality like Kevin, we can destroy Project Sigma completely, even if we're capable of doing so. That's right from a strategic perspective, but if we fail to secure a tactical edge, such analysis will be empty talk. Regarding that, there is an interesting phenomenon. Jigsaw, anti-entropy, and the moth, or rather world serpent, all happen to provide a solution for each of those goals. I believe when this meeting is dismissed, even the pessimistic Dr. Schrödinger will find genuine hope. Hope was an interesting thing. Hopeful people tended to fall into two categories: those who never consider the difficulties, and those who have fully considered the difficulties ahead. Specifically, many of those present cycled formed such a spiral on this matter. After this meeting, we are going to fight a long and arduous battle. It may be needless to ask this now. Kiana, May, and Madame Teresa, how did you rest during the wait for the analysis results? Adequately, especially when compared to Durandal and Li Sushang, who only slept for a few hours. I did mindfulness training in sensing signets. Hopefully it'll aid our mission. I guess people have their own way of resting. I just slept in my bed. Bet they can't do that. They can't. Well, it's about time. Sovereign, let's get ready to start. Yeah. Durandal, Rita, Nagamitsu, how's your signal? Jigsaw HQ has no issue. Brania, is everything normal and Ch34? Fuhua, Sila, and Brania are on call. Mr. Siegfried, what about the deep? Miss Susanna did a great job. Miss Li and I are prepared for battle. Good. Without further ado, let's start discussing how to reclaim the Earth, explore the origin, and transcend finality. Nagamitsu, can you introduce the reclamation of Earth that Jigsaw's planning? Okay, I've been waiting. You've experienced Jigsaw's island operation. We struggle to save the headquarters of Jigsaw and Act2-pt and develop strongholds such as Ch34 from the deep. We plan to reclaim Earth by increasing the number of such islands, so a large part of the Earth can remain normal before Project Sigma is subverted. Of course, doing so would consume an enormous amount of energy, and Jigsaw would have to search the imaginary for resources. Luckily, Project Sigma has inspired us. Since it used the power finality to reset the space around Earth, we can compete with it if we can learn its way of use. Learn from Project Sigma. What's more, after rescuing Mr. Siegfried from Caslana's Sigma space, we lure the place into breaking away from Kevin and submitting to Teresa. This way, we gain control of an endpoint outside of Project Sigma to create an anti-Project Sigma. As we all know, the other endpoint of Project Sigma is the moon, the key factor of power finality that's transferring from the moon to Kevin. To emulate this directly is clearly impossible for us. However, the learning template I mentioned happened to be available to us. You mean not just imitating, but also use Project Sigma itself? Yes, Project Sigma is a giant web woven from human dreams. The stronger the Sigma awakened, the better they are at weaving it. Luckily, we have a person of Equinox. I'm sure everyone knows Durandal's lineage by now. She has awakened the Caslana Sigma and the Shariak Sigma. If Overseer Teresa can help us control the cornerstone of copying Project Sigma, Durandal can provide us with the path of copying Project Sigma, to control with power Shariak and absorb the power with Caslana. As long as the Sigma space can draw power from the imaginary, the girls can control how the space exists like Project Sigma. This process only requires Cosmic Juggernaut, Sumeru, and other non-Herschel objects. This will allow Kiana to focus on other tasks. Of course, compared to exploring the origin and transcending finality, reclaiming Earth is only treating the symptom. However, it has a clear roadmap and will provide the greatest help to the other two. As for the participants, as I said, the direct involvement of Durandal and Teresa is required. Auxiliaries tentatively include Siegfried and Susanna. The reserve team led by Rita will help if necessary. The operation will be carried out in the deep, correct? Yes, Ch34 is more efficient choice, but the deep is safer choice. Are you saying without external interference, the deep dodged the finality's resetting the world with its special conditions alone? That's right. Even if our attempts all failed, at least the deep will preserve a piece of past reality. Like the bubble universe that Durandal anchored. Great, I finished introducing reclamation of Earth. Can I pass the mic to Dr. Tesla?